I'll start with a little story about my passion for JCI. 30 years of membership, not an easy thing at all. Joining in 1985. How many people were not born in 1985? And I remember being in Dakar in Senegal in 1995. And we were going back home. Somebody had told us it was cheaper to go through Gambia to arrive in Dakar. Nobody told us that we would have to cross the waters to get to Dakar. So coming back, we got to the border front and we missed the ferry. It was 8 p.m. and we had a flight to catch the next morning. What did we do? We looked around and there were very, very, very dangerous looking young boys and men. We tried to go into the police station at the border point, and they were not so friendly. I think they had a thing against Nigerians. So we decided to cross the water at that time, and we got in a big canoe, powered with an outboard engine. There were about 8 of us. And then as we got in, we chartered the boat, we got in, and we realized that so many other people jumped in the boat with us. And we were like, oh, definitely they're going to throw us into the water tonight. Who's going to know where we went to? Who's going to be able to say where to look for us? And this, let me tell you, was at a point where River Gambia entered the Atlantic Ocean. So there was a lot of turbulence. We had fish flying into the boats. But luckily, after 25 harrowing minutes, we arrived at the other side. That is passion for JCI. Let me salute the chairman of the conference, my brother Basil. Congratulations. I say hello to the world president Ismail, immediate past president Shine, JCI Secretary General. Wow, that sounds so good. Ari, Area Director Matern, National President, Chief Delegates, active citizens of the world, Mesdames et Messieurs, chers amis JC, bonjour. My name is Jokotade Odebunmi. Currently, I'm a commissioner representing my state at the Federal Character Commission in Abuja, Nigeria. That is a department under the presidency of Nigeria, saddled with the responsibility of ensuring equitable distribution of employment opportunities in the civil service, as well as distribution of social infrastructure all around the country. In JCI, I have had the pleasure to serve in many offices at the local, national, and international level. I was Executive Vice President assigned to Africa and the Middle East and Chairman of the Monastir Conference in 2006. I was also lucky enough to be Vice President assigned to 6 countries in Europe in 2004, and I was National President of JCI Nigeria in 2003. Hopefully, I will still be around in the JCI circle for many more years to come. I cannot talk about the impact that JCI has allowed me to have in my country or in my community without talking about the impact that JCI has had on my life. The two cannot be separated because it's when you excel as an individual that you can take what you have learned back to your communities and try to become active citizens. I also believe that the confidence that it seems that I exhibit today is because of what JCI has given me. You need to take things out of this organization to become a better person in the future. When I joined the organization, I had no knowledge of the French language. I had very, very little understanding of the language. But I traveled to congresses and conferences all over the world, and I met so many friends from the Francophone countries. And that awoke in me a determination to cross that language barrier. It was important for me to be able to keep these friendships that I had made. Maintenant, je peux me débrouiller en français. Je peux communiquer facilement avec tous les amis francophones. Même si je fais quelques erreurs de temps en temps, c'est pas grave. Je crois que c'est la compréhension et l'effort qui sont les plus importants, non, chers amis? Also, I have been, vous me permettrez de parler, de continuer en anglais, hein? Je suis anglophone, s'il vous plaît. Also, I have been actively involved in the national politics of my country for quite a while now. I started at the state level with my appointment as chairman of something called the Protocol and Ceremonial Committee of the Gateway Games Commission, which was saddled with organizing the National Sports Festival of the country that was hosted by my state. With the experience that I garnered in JCI, from membership of committees at the local level, from having to actually chair those committees, running that committee was a breeze. It was so easy, so effortless, given all the wonderful things that one had learned from this organization. Thereafter, I was lucky enough to be appointed as Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, also in my state, a position that I held for 2 years. And then I became Commissioner for Housing, also in my state. A position that I held for 22 months until I resigned to go and contest in the elections in 2011, wanting to become the deputy governor of my state. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but no experience is lost, that's fine. When God says it's time, then it's time. I went back to my private business. God has given me a gift where I'm able to transform interiors, and I also do a bit of construction. But in 2013, I was appointed to this position that I currently hold, and JCI has helped me to excel. I feel no sense of, I am proud to say that I excel in everything that I do. I might sound arrogant, but I must sell myself. I am proud of myself. I'm proud of my years in JCI. The experience in JCI, knowing that when you hold an office, it's just for 1 year, 1 year to lead, helped me greatly in the transition from post to post. Because you know that no matter how good you are, no matter how excellent you think you are, you have 1 year to prove yourself. And you must quit the stage for someone else to come and contribute his or her own quota. That helped. Because sometimes when you're in these positions, you tend to get a little bit of withdrawal symptoms if you're not well prepared. But JCI prepares us to know that you can do your own bit and allow other players to come in. I'd like to ask that a few of our leaders, especially in this zone of ours called Africa and the Middle East, they could learn a lot from JCI. Maybe then they wouldn't want to hold on to power forever. They would realize that it is possible to do your bit, and others too can come and make things better. I think that is a message that we need to take back to some of our communities. Now, what is the impact that I have created with the experience that I garnered from JCI? I think that is actually the thrust that our President Ismail wants from this new introduction that he has brought to bear. The impact that I believe I have created covers 2 areas in the active citizen framework. I think I have created an impact in the area of education and economic empowerment, and also in the area of sustainable development. As Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, I had the opportunity of helping lift people out of poverty. It was a huge responsibility because where I come from, the advantages might not be so obvious. Someone needs to come and bring it to the consciousness of the people. We ran a lot of empowerment programs because when I joined JCI, we had the community opportunities in JCI. We had the entrepreneur opportunities in JCI, and there were a lot of trainings on what to do if you found yourself in positions of impact. We introduced skills acquisition programs. We made sure that there were vocational training. We made sure that we introduced scholarships. People went to school. People who didn't, indigent people who would not have had the opportunity to go to school were given the opportunity. And these skills acquisition programs in turn produced new entrepreneurs, which meant that we had opportunities for job employment and job creation. We also had microcredit schemes for the women because it's changing now. I know that perhaps in the more developed countries or in the advanced countries, they don't have those problems. But I know that in Africa, we still have a mindset where people think that the woman should be in the home. But gradually, we're changing that, and we were able to introduce some microcredit schemes that allowed the women to access funds that ordinarily they wouldn't have been able to. So that meant that they were able to set up their own businesses. In the country where I come from, in the political world, the normal thing that you would find is that you would find the women, when it's time for campaigns and it's time for the political functions, they're invited to come and dance and to come and praise, sing. And that just we went against everything that I believed in. Because I believe that a woman can do anything she sets her mind to. The sky is the limit. And also knowing that JCI talks about gender equality. We sing it, we practice it as much as we can. So why not take it back to the countries, to our communities where we come from? So for me, it was important that I lifted up the women, especially since I was saddled with the responsibility of handling women affairs. Like I had said earlier, we provided seed capital, and they meant that they were able to become employers of labor. They were able to feed their families, because whether we like it or not, the world is changing. Men can no longer cope. Right, women? Yeah. Men can no longer cope. The women are becoming the helpmates that God created us to be in all ways. But guess what? We're the stronger ones. We not only work, but we keep the homes. We raise the children. We keep the men going. Ladies, give it up for yourselves. And every time there was an opportunity in government, every time there was an opening, I was right there championing the cause of women. Now, don't get me wrong. I wasn't saying that they should be given the opportunities because they were women. They had to be qualified. Okay, so I encouraged also the women, and I'm encouraging all of us. Don't let anyone tell you you cannot do it, because you can. It's in your head, it's in what you believe, it's in what you decide to do. So I pushed hard and made sure that the women got more than their fair share of what they needed to do. And to do all this, of course, we needed to collaborate with civil societies, with private individuals, private groups, and government. As Commissioner for Housing, I also was able to bring in the public-private partnership module. JCI talks about so many things about government working with businesses, and we were able to do that, especially in the provision of housing for the low-income group of people. Government alone cannot solve all social and societal issues. We need to understand that. I think there's too much pressure on government. As active citizens, we need to know that we must bring our own knowledge, our skills, we must bring our networking to bear on our communities and help government to achieve what they can. In my current position, even though I work for government, the JCI impact is also evident. It's helped me to be more focused, to be more methodical, and also to be able to multitask. I do work for government, but I must say that I also still run my own business. because I do have a very, very, very high taste, if you understand my language. I like the Louis Vuittons, the Chanels, and you really can't afford that on a government salary. So I also do try to multitask and do my own business. And I make sure that neither one suffers. I'm still able to find a balance because JCI helps us to do that. Of course, I am still a wife, I am a mother, I am a sister, I am a mentor. I am so many things, but courtesy JCI, the impact still comes through. Of course, I don't forget to play, because all work and no play makes Jill a very, very dull girl. One thing that has helped me throughout my time in JCI and also in the community where I exist and where I work is my strong belief in the second line of our creed, which says that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life. My faith in God gives me the will and the desire to succeed in anything that I do. Everything I do, everywhere I find myself, I strive to leave a mark. I strive to make an impact. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, always strive to make an impact wherever you find yourself. Live your lives in such a way that when you're not there, people come looking for you. In conclusion, as a JCI member who wants to have an impact, you must be known for something positive. You must be able to recreate yourself in others. You must try to excel so much that at the very least, people aspire to be you, or at the most, they want to be so much better than you. I encourage you all to go there in your various worlds and communities and be active citizens, making an impact and creating positive change. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias.
Merci beaucoup.